Alright then guys, welcome back to another video. Today is Friday and the news has broken that Maurizio Sarri has come to an agreement. Chelsea have come to an agreement regarding the compensation for their manager Maurizio Sarri moving to Juventus. I'm a Chelsea fan. I've had a lot to say this season about Sarri. Good, bad, ugly, thoughts, whatever it may be. I'm going to get them out there for you guys in this video today. But as you probably can tell from this week, I'm trying to upload every day on this channel, and if you're not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the button and also click the bell to be notified when I upload the videos, because YouTube doesn't always push them out to everybody. You should get a notification through to your phone or something like that. But anyway, Maurizio Sarri is set to leave Chelsea. The vacancy for the manager, we don't know who it's going to be yet. There's speculation, everyone has their own opinion. But I thought what we go through here in this video today is my thoughts as to whether A, I'm happy with the fact that Sarri seems to have come to an agreement with Juventus, B, who I think is going to come in to replace him, who's the right man for the job, and C, whether or not it's even a deserved thing for him to technically lose his job. But he's not really lost his job. It seems like Juventus have come in, they've said, we want your manager. Sarri has said, I want to go there. Chelsea have agreed a certain amount of compensation as Sarri still had 2 years left on his contract. That is the lowdown as to what's been going on. As for the positives of Maurizio Sarri's reign as Chelsea manager, 63.49% win percentage, which is one of the highest win percentages of any Chelsea manager during their time at Chelsea, which is pretty good considering we were competing against two of the best teams that the Premier League has seen for a very long time, Manchester City and Liverpool, and that win percentage directly led us to a third place finish in the Premier League, guaranteeing us Champions League football whether we even won the Europa League or not, finishing the highest of all of the clubs in London. Going back to looking at those Liverpool and Manchester City teams, I've said it countless times on videos here on this channel and on my main channel also. We're talking about two of the best sides with two of the best managers in world football, playing some of the best football we have seen in Europe for many, many years. Both Liverpool and Manchester City pushed each other to the wire in the Premier League. City finished 1 point ahead of Liverpool, winning it on the final day. Liverpool said, it doesn't matter about that. We're going to win the European trophy in Madrid. City Premier League champions, Liverpool Champions League winners. He was competing against two of the best teams. He couldn't really have done much more with what he had available to him in comparison to what Klopp has at Liverpool, to what Guardiola has at Manchester City. Not only that, talking about another positive, he took us to the Carabao Cup final. Say what you want about the trophy, it's a day out at Wembley. It's a major domestic competition, one that everybody wants to win, losing only on penalties, thanks to David Luiz's miss. And I will never forget Rory Jennings' famous quotes on the True Geordies kickoff show that I was on that day for that game. We lost on penalties against the best team in the country, and that could have been his first trophy, but it wasn't to be. However, we kept persisting. We beat Frankfurt in the semi-finals of the Europa League to set up a final against Arsenal in Baku, and we put on the best performance of our season in the second half to win the Europa League. The man's had one season, taking what was, again, as per usual, a club in a complete mess. He comes in, he's told that, we have to be this big flipping team winning trophies and challenging for everything. And he's like, okay, and we win a trophy that we were in from the start of the season. We couldn't have won anything bigger in Europe than the Europa League this season. People seem to think, it's the Europa League. We didn't even have a chance to win the Champions League this season, whether we wanted to or not. So that's irrelevant. People belittle the achievement of winning the Europa League simply because it isn't the Champions League. Yet if you're not in the Champions League in the first place, it's impossible to even win it. So he did the best he could in Europe. If we're talking about saving your job, he's not actually been sacked. He's actually been bought out of his contract by Juventus. But regardless of that, the man deserves the credit. He's not really been given by a large majority of Chelsea fans, myself included, I must say. At times this season I've been on the train of Sarri out. The majority of the time I've been firmly down the middle, sat on the fence, wanting to see if we were going to win anything in order to make up my mind as to whether or not I fully support him as a manager. I can understand that the brand of football that he wanted to bring, that he was so famous for at Napoli, hasn't quite worked out at Chelsea due to the personnel. Maybe there's something between the players and the manager that didn't connect the same way as it did in Italy for him, which would make sense because he's from Italy, which is another reason why he signed the contract at Juventus, supposedly so. Not only that, we lost the Carabao Cup final, we win the Europa League final. Two of the young players that we've wanted to see brought into the first 11 that the Chelsea fans have bought into, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been on the fringes of the Chelsea team now for a long time, had a successful loan spell at Palace, and for me now alongside N'Golo Kante, he's the first name in the midfield on the team sheet, in my opinion. As is Hudson-Odoi, who is probably the man now to take over from Eden Hazard. It's been a long time since we've actually been able to be so excited about young players coming in at Chelsea. Maurizio Sarri has given them the chance. Maybe a little bit too delayed in the sense of Hudson-Odoi, but towards the end of the season, before his injury, he was given the football, and Sarri was the man to do that. So those are the positives of Maurizio Sarri's one and only season as Chelsea manager. Let's look at the negatives. So a lot of people were calling for Sarri's head way before the defeats against Bournemouth, the biggest one of them all in my opinion. Obviously it wasn't the actual biggest defeat in terms of the scoreline, but a 4-0 loss away at Bournemouth for Chelsea is a bit of a joke. After that game, I remember watching the post-match interviews with fans from 100% Chelsea Louis' channel and just the uproar that there was on Twitter. And from that moment, I always saw the end of Maurizio Sarri's time at Chelsea, because when you lose a game like that, follow that up with a 6-0 defeat a week later away at Manchester City, embarrassingly, you don't really have a leg to stand on when it comes to building the support of an entire fan base. Chelsea have been known over the years for being so stubborn and good defensively that we don't concede 4 goals. Even against the big teams, we don't concede 4 goals. And then we go to City and get absolutely demolished. From those 2 results, it looked destined that Maurizio Sarri was never going to win over a large majority of the Chelsea fan base who didn't understand some of the tactical decisions, the substitutions, realising that the brand of football that he wants to play isn't necessarily what the players that we have available to us are actually best suited for. That was always a recipe for disaster. Whether he went on to win a trophy or not, defeats like that are embarrassing. And for me personally, and I've said this before, the 2-0 defeat against Manchester United in the FA Cup, not too long after those other defeats to City and Bournemouth, by the way, that for me is just as bad as any of those league defeats. And despite it not being as big of a scoreline, Chelsea have been known in the FA Cup in recent years. We've won the trophy more than anybody recently, Arsenal as well. Obviously they've won it the most over everybody else, but Chelsea have been very successful. It's a competition I always want to win, just below obviously the Premier League and the Champions League, but it's still right up there in terms of, I don't know what my hands are doing here, it's like a bit scattergram approach. I always want to win the FA Cup, and that defeat against United at home, it was just as poor as the defeats to Manchester City and Bournemouth. And after that, a lot of people that were necessarily backing him stopped backing him. And when you don't have an entire fan base on board, and you're at a club like Chelsea where the manager merry-go-round is always favouring kicking the manager out of the door, he never really gave himself a chance. Now, not only that, the Kepa situation in the Carabao Cup final, when a goalkeeper is being bought off for whatever the confusion was, is completely irrelevant. Kepa didn't come off the pitch, Sarri stormed off, he threw down his bottle, and it just shouts that he doesn't have full control of the dressing room. When you're at a club as big as Chelsea, the manager has to have the backing of the dressing room, otherwise the revolving door is going to go and he's going to leave. Just to finish it all off, Juventus, the best team in Italy, come saying, we want you to be our manager because we believe in you and we want to buy out your contract because we know you can come here and continue our success. Maurizio Sarri's time at Chelsea was never going to last. As soon as the flirtatiousness from Juventus came in, considering he didn't have the backing of the fans, he didn't necessarily have the backing of the Chelsea board fully. Maybe there were some players as well that didn't believe in him. Fabregas has come out and said that he was too stubborn, which is why maybe he's lost some of the dressing room. Also, it looks as though Maurizio's time at Chelsea was always destined to be over. In terms of where I stand with that personally, I think if a manager wins the Europa League, finishes third, with everything else that we have out of our control, such as how great Liverpool and City are, I think he's had a wonderful season at Chelsea, to be honest. Despite those very obvious glaring negatives, the man deserved at least a second season or another attempt to build upon what he started this season. But as soon as Juventus come calling, it's his home country, it's the best club in his home country where he's not just going to win probably one Europa League for the rest of his career. He's 60 years old, he's going to go to Juventus, probably going to win the league again. Challenge for the Champions League, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, it's a no-brainer in that sense. Also, he was destined to leave. That leaves another managerial vacancy at Chelsea. Who do we have to come in for him? Now that it's pretty secured that Sarri will not be the manager next season, I'm fully on board the Frank Lampard train. I have made this very clear many times that Frank Lampard is my sporting hero. He's my favourite Chelsea player ever. He's had a very good debut season as a manager at Derby County, leading them to Wembley. He lost at Wembley, which means they won't be in the Premier League next season. If they were, I don't even think he would leave if he was given the option. Rio Ferdinand said it himself. It's not every day a club as big as Chelsea come knocking on your door wanting you as their manager. If I was Frank Lampard, I would probably take the job because it's Frank Lampard. He's a Chelsea legend. He's our all-time top goal scorer. He is adored amongst the Chelsea fan base. It's probably his dream to manage Chelsea. In terms of the timing, I wouldn't say as a manager, your second ever season as a manager, managing Chelsea is the best thing for you. It's destined for failure. It's destined to bring his destiny as a Chelsea legend down ever so slightly. Maybe this is exactly what Chelsea Football Club need. A man who is Chelsea through and through. He's going to bring Jody Morris in, who knows the youth system better than anyone at Chelsea, where we can't bring in any players, so therefore the youth players are going to be the ones to take us forward now for our future. I feel as though there is no better fit. It all depends on whether or not Frank Lampard wants to take the Chelsea job, whether Chelsea actually make a direct approach for him. Nothing is actually set in stone right now. There's not been any movements made because it's not official that Sarri is the Juventus manager. It's kind of a bit like the Hazard thing. We all know he's going to go, but until it's confirmed, people can't really make movements in any direction. Lampard is currently preparing for Derby next season, as he should be, as a professional. I think it is a destined failure job for Frank Lampard. I would absolutely love to see him manage Chelsea. He is by a long shot my favourite Chelsea player ever. And I feel as though not only would he know the youth players and he would be confident enough to bring them into the first team, so he doesn't have any choice, he would also be the fans' favourite by a country mile. When you're going through a tricky time, when you lose your best player for the past 5 years, you can't sign anybody, so you're falling even further down the pecking order in terms of being the favourites to lift trophies. You need the fans fully on side. And if Frank Lampard is the manager of Chelsea, the atmosphere won't ever have been as good as it will be next season at Stamford Bridge. I firmly believe that, and that makes such a difference to the players on the pitch. There's been so many times at the Bridge in recent seasons where I've gone there, the atmosphere's been toxic, and that has translated to what we're watching on the pitch, and it's nothing. It's not proper Chelsea football. And Frank Lampard is the man to bring that. Thank you, Sarri, for winning us the Europa League. Thank you for one successful season as Chelsea manager. It's a shame it didn't last, but we must move on now and move forward. But anyway, as always on this channel, I really would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Is it the right move for Sarri to go to Juventus? Is it a good move for Chelsea to lose him and bring in someone like Frank Lampard? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.